You're listening to the Tales from the Crawl Space podcast with your hosts, Jack and Brad, featuring special guest and meme contest winner, Zack Weeks.
Well, if it isn't another Friday and yet another episode of the beautiful and personable Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. Got a very, very awesome show for you tonight. Tonight we are going to be talking to the one and only winner of the Tales from the Crawl Space meme contest on Pest Control Humor Depot, my favorite group, the one and only Zack Weeks. Zack, welcome to the show.
What's up?
Hey, and not a whole hell of a lot, man. I'm just glad to have you on here. And of course, as always, the beautiful and personable Jack Starry. Jack?
Hey, good evening, sir. I'm trying to choke down this egg roll because I'm a little hungry. But yeah, I'm up here in Pennsylvania today. Tomorrow, well, all week they've been doing the Great Pennsylvania Farm Show. And I'm taking JT to the farm show tomorrow while it's snowing, so hopefully it'll keep the crowds down some, but up here in Pennsylvania for the weekend.
How is the snow up there this weekend?
It's not here yet. It's supposed to get here tomorrow mid-morning, I believe, and I think they're calling for 8 inches, which really isn't that big of a deal, but Pennsylvania people can't drive anyways, so it's like it's instant idiot, just add water. This water just happens to be frozen.
Oh shit. Yeah, Indiana has not had a decent snow for quite a while. We had a little bit last year, but that was before the calendar flipped over. 2023 for Indiana had absolutely no measurable snowfall.
Jesus.
And yeah, it's a first. And you can say what you want. Blame climate change or whatever. I, for one, am looking forward to climate change because, if it gets warmer up in Indiana, I'm looking forward to going out into my backyard and picking a nice fresh avocado or orange or coconut or whatever the fuck. And, I'm, and tomatoes year round. Yes. Please,
oh, hell yeah.
Sign me up. But anyway, and not a whole hell of a lot of snow this year. They're going to be blaming El Nino, which is of course Spanish for the Nino. And, it's, I kind of miss the snow, but you know what? The older I get, the less I can tolerate it. So fuck it. I can go without snow.
I just want one good snow when I get up on the mountain so I can get the fireplace rolling. I'll get hunkered down with my steaks and my beans. I can just sit there resplendent in my own stink while I watch the snow come down.
Well, how does that differ from you being down there in Pennsylvania?
Well, there's idiots around here. When I'm up on the mountain, I'm the only idiot, so.
Oh, okay. It's a virtually idiot-free zone.
Yes, it is.
Nice.
It most certainly is.
Nice.
With my little fuck around and find out sign right in front of the house. Just if you want to bring your idiocy to my yard, you can turn right the fuck around and go back down the hill.
There you go. Exactly. So, hey, Jack, didn't we have a guest today? Oh yeah.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, okay.
Gotta do our chitter chatter, man. So, how you been, Zach? How you holding up?
I've been doing all right.
Slow season for you? Slow season for you right now, or a slow season for you right now, or
it's going to be starting to pick up.
Nice.
What part of the country are you in right now? Where are you working at?
Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're kind of close to Tony Spangler, our good friend of the Tumblers.
That's right.
Well,
what part of Tennessee?
I live in McMinnville.
McMinnville. Okay. How close is that to Crossville? Because I've got. Crossville's like right in the middle of the state, pretty much.
I'm not sure. I don't think it's too far away.
Are you eastern, western, central?
Central.
Central? Okay. Yeah, Crossville, there's a place out there called Fairfield Glade. I've got a timeshare and a condo down there. I've had it for about 25 years. I love the area. And I like to get down as often as I can. I get down there far too seldom, but anyway. Tony, how long you been in, Zach, how long have you been in the business? I'm sitting here twirling my tumbler,
I've been doing it for about 4 years altogether.
4 years? Okay.
So you've gotten past the point that you think you know everything, because I think when you hit the second year, you think you're fucking God's gift to pest control, or most people do. But then you kind of get out of that when you realize you don't know everything. So you're getting into the I'm an actual technician part now.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Hey, your area of work, is it more commercial, residential?
We're mostly residential.
Okay, good deal. And so you're how you do as far as like bed bugs, things like that? Are you like a universal tech? Or are you a route guy that basically does recurrent quarterly services, things like that?
Just a route guide. Went to do quarterly services. We got somebody separate for bed bugs.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, because I have to do everything. It's like I do.
Oh, I used to do everything. Like I had termites, bed bugs, everything. Short of sales.
Yeah. Yeah, I also do sales. The guy I work for, William the Merciful, is he's like, I will never have a sales guy, and I'm like, well, your ass, you will never have a sales guy because you just hired me, and I'm going to sell the shit out of everything. So I do my damnedest, and it's like if I go 2 days without closing a sale, I get. My elbow starts to itch for some reason. So it's kind of fucked up. So tell me, about, you are one of the more prolific contributors to Pest Control Humor Depot, my favorite group. How did you find out about the group?
Well, honestly, about a year or so into the business, I was looking for people like me, for somebody to talk to that knew the ins and outs of what I'm having to deal with, the stress from customers and just the regular day-to-day stuff and a little bit of humor too.
A little bit of humor, very little. Yeah, because if a month goes by without me seeing a post that says, I thought this was a humor page, I'm kind of wondering what the fuck we're doing wrong here.
So Zach, what got you into pest control? Was it just you found a ad online, or someone a friend of yours got you into it? What got you into pest control?
Yeah, a friend of mine actually did get me into it. At the time I was doing like staffing jobs, they send me here for this amount of pay for this amount of time. And, there was an opening for a termite tech where he was doing inspections. And, it would have been a more solid job and, more job security. I would have been making more, or I was. And that's how I got started.
Ah, nice. So in your opinion, what's your favorite part of pest control, and what's the part you can't stand the most, or the part you hate the most about pest control? What's the pit and the peak of pest control for you?
Last minute reschedules.
That must be the pit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely not my favorite part of it. That's for damn sure.
No. But what do you like the most about it?
I just really like helping people. I always have.
Yeah, I think that's a common denominator for people who really enjoy it and don't just do it for a paycheck, because they like getting in there and helping people out, solving the problem and stuff like that. I can definitely see that. You got to be a people person to do it.
Yeah, Zach, we are kindred souls, because that's my favorite part of it too, is helping people. I mean, when you go into a potential account or an account and you see poverty and despair, and you're there to help them out, that's big for me. I mean, just being able to go in and you're not gonna change their entire lives, but you're gonna be able to make it a little bit easier for them, help them out. Yeah. And, get rid of their bugs. It's just one less thing for them to worry about. And,
I've been there before. couple times.
Yeah.
When I was younger.
Oh yeah. I have too. And it's, just being able to get that one thing off of their plate is awesome. And, me, I love solving problems and, but again, I'm not going to change their lives, but I'm going to make things a little bit easier for them by solving their problems. And yeah, I totally get off on that. No.
That's not the only thing Brad gets off on, but that's for all our listeners. That's the only thing we're going to talk about right now. Cause we were talking about midget porn before the show and we haven't determined whether it was the midgets in the clown suits or not in the clown makeup. I mean, which one was it that you were saying? Was it the clown midgets or the non-clown midgets that did it for you?
It's the non-clown midgets. I prefer my midgets in business attire. The short skirt or the semi-short skirts. Maybe some nice setup. Yeah, a nice pair of pumps and, exactly, a blazer. Yes, definitely a blazer and maybe that frill in front. And, when you see that on somebody that's 3'9", oh my God, get out of
here. With their little pantalones and their fat chubby butts.
That makes me moister than an oyster.
Michael Douglas, that's the only white man ever made me moist. Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Damn.
So what kind of rig they got you running around in, Zach? They got you one of them little transit vans, or they got you an old beater pickup? Do you work for a big box company, or you work for a mom and pop?
Big box company. They got me in a Colorado right now.
Oh, okay. That's better than that. I don't know. I like the Colorados. I had one when I was with one of the Donnie Maries. I had a whole new fleet of them. So I kind of like my Colorado.
Oh yeah, I like
any Colorado made after 2015 sucks. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be the wet blanket here, but before that, I had it was a 2011. It was a Colorado, and it was the old boxy style trucks.
Right.
It was small. Me, I drive a 94 Dakota on my off time, and I love the smaller, but yet still meaty type of pickups. And the Colorado was perfect because I could weave in and out of traffic, and I could get these things have a tight ass turning radius. They sat lower to the ground because sometimes I just didn't want to fall out of a truck in order to do my thing. The only downside is that being small, you couldn't haul a big old 100-gallon termite tank or anything, but I wasn't doing termite work at the time, so fuck it. But yeah, those things were the best. The only problem I had with that model of Colorado was the console. They had a lid on the console. I think they made it out of tortilla chips because your elbow would go through the damn thing, bust through the fabric would stay there, but you'd have this concave pit where your elbow would fit. And I guess it was okay, but it just annoyed the fuck out of me. And another thing that I liked about it was that its simplicity as far as communication. It had Bluetooth. So all I had to do was, if I had to, it's like, Alexa, or not Alexa, fuck. The OnStar would say, I would say in call and it would shut it off. I wouldn't have to go through this other rigmarole and shit. And, the downside of it is you couldn't pair it with the audio. So, you didn't have any way to listen to your special playlist or anything like that on your phone. But who gave a shit? At the time I was in management and I couldn't listen to a damn song to save my life because every time I fucking get into a jam, the goddamn phone would ring. And, it was just like, fuck this, so I and to this day I still drive in silence.
Is that a habit? Just force a habit?
It is. What was that, Zach?
Oh, I could not do that. I gotta have something playing, like either podcast or some music.
So what's your jams?
I mostly listen to country and rock.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say with the look you got going, I was gonna say like Pantera or something like that. You probably have some heavy metal going on.
Oh yeah.
That's my shit.
Yeah. He's a little too clean cut looking to like listen to like, Primus or Tool or like that.
I've heard those. I listened to them growing up.
Oh yeah, man. I'm 59 years old and I fucking love Tool.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. And,
I'll be 53 this month, so yeah, I get you.
Oh God, I am among children. Yeah. So, Zach, we talked about what you liked and disliked about the job and everything. Do you see, does this look like, something that you kind of hang on doing, as far as pest control?
Yeah, I think I can see myself still doing it for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could ever sit behind a desk.
What's that?
I don't think I could ever sit behind a desk though.
Oh, see, there you go. That was my next question. Yeah, if you were, somebody that had aspirations to be in management and stuff, but yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. It's like, it's okay for some people. I thought it was going to be my thing for the rest of my life, but once I got back out in the field, I was like, oh, to hell with that. It's like, I mean, I feel like I'm making more of an impact on people's lives out in the field than I was sitting behind a desk telling everybody else to make an impact on people's lives.
Oh, sure. For sure. I mean, I felt that same way, when I got back out in the field myself. It was like, man, I'm actually doing something now. Instead of just listening to people bitch on the phone all the time. And that gets fucking ponderous after a while, man.
Exactly. And and all that shit that you have to do as part of your job functions that you don't want to do, and it's not right or it's anything like that. Now, as a technician, you may, depending on the type of manager you have, if you have a manager that's an absolute dick, he is going to try to make you do things that you're not supposed, that you shouldn't do. But, when it comes from a level higher up, then, when you're sitting in entry or middle management and it comes to that way, yeah. And so, yeah, it sucks because, and here, we're not trying to talk you out of anything, but, just know, if you ever have that inkling to go into it, kind of know what you're going into.
Oh, for sure.
I've got a taste for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have a favorite story that you like to tell your non-pest control friends, and something to really fucking freak them out, or something to get a rise out of them? You got a favorite story you like to tell?
Yeah. So I actually moved here about a year ago from Florida. That's where I originally started in the biz. I transferred over. Within my first year, I saw something that I didn't quite think I would see that still kind of haunts me. We'd serviced this area out in the middle of bumfuck. It's called like Weewah Hitchka. I get there. It's a rundown trailer. I go in, or I go to the door. The deck is falling apart. I can hear dogs yelling, people yelling. And I knock on the door and they let me in. And I noticed that the walls are pretty much moving.
Oh.
You have my attention.
Yeah. The walls are moving. There's a dude sitting on the couch playing video games. And somebody was trying to cook mac and cheese in the kitchen. And I'm just trying to figure out how these people live like that. Like, I've been in situations like that before when I was growing up, but it wasn't nowhere near that bad. Like, I didn't think I would actually see something like that firsthand.
Yeah.
And that's when I learned how the smell that they give off too. That, it was just awful.
We get it, man. We get it.
Do you ever notice how mac and cheese finds its way into these stories all the time? There's always something. Mac and cheese always works into it somehow.
I mean, it's a given. I mean, it's definitely, if it wasn't for Kraft macaroni and cheese dinner, I would not have had dinner after I moved out for the first time, from my parents' house. And, Kraft mac and cheese was a staple. Now what wasn't a staple, and I was not in pest control before this, was having bugs in my house. I was like, fuck that all day long. There's going to be something that we can use to get rid of these bugs. And it was stuff like, I'd buy the cheap shit at the store. I'd put paint thinner out. I had one situation. I lived with my brother Randy. Randy is, the family knows him as the mountain man without a mountain. And, but we lived together in this 1-bedroom piece of shit building that they built over by the International Harvester plant during World War II to house the employees, during the war effort. And they sold them out and they rented them out to, slumlords and everything. We lived there. And we were having a party, believe it or not. And, we saw this big ass Oriental roach. It had to have been about, an inch and change walking across the kitchen floor. And, I grabbed a skillet and I smacked it and it laughed at me. It just like fell on its back and giggled and got up and started running around. Randy, he grabs a table leaf. And it's from one of these kitchen tables where you expand it, you stick the leaf in the middle. He just takes it. It's leaning up against the wall. He goes, watch this. He goes, flattens the fucker. And it was fucking awesome. And we were taking, and we found a few more that night and we were taking booze, whiskey and shit. I think we were drinking Crown Royal that night because, we would buy the good stuff and yet not have enough money left for groceries. And, we'd soak them down with it and they were just like, getting all nice and drunk on it and shit. And we'd kick them out into the sidewalk off of the front porch and we'd come back and the next morning we'd look and those fucking roaches would be gone and we think, and Randy was like, they just woke up and woke off. I said, no, there's legs right there. And, birds would come down and snatch them up and be like, take the back straps out of them. It's fucking
marinated Oriental roaches.
Yes, they were marinated and then run off with them. And I think it was that period in my life that I really got interested in, not bugs and entomology and biology and shit like that, but how to kill these fuckers. And, that's where I kind of got my thing. But it was a good solid 10 to 12 years later before I actually got into the business. I ended up working in restaurants and, I'd see some nasty shit in some of those restaurants. And then I'd start talking to the exterminators and pest control guys when they'd come in and stuff. So instead of going to the Dollar Tree and buying that can of Best Value all-purpose insect killer. Well, see, Jack, again, I'm pushing 60. There was no such thing as a Dollar Tree back then. I had to go to like Sears and Roebuck or.
You went to the Five and Dime. The Five and Dime.
Ben Franklin.
Yep. Ben Franklin.
I went to the Olson Mercantile in Walnut Grove. Oh man. Zach, do you have a life outside of this thing? What's your hobbies and what do you like to do when you're not thinking about bugs?
I do like to game. I fish. I like to have a drink every now and again too. Mm-hmm. That's about it so far.
Well, that's all right. Especially when the business keeps you busy. You ain't got time to do too much.
Yeah, drink, game, and fish, man. That's more than I fucking do.
Oh, yeah.
I bake bread. As you all know, because
I saw those.
2 loaves on the depot. I'm sorry. I couldn't help. I know it wasn't pest control related, but damn it, I was so proud of those loaves that, I had to share it with the world.
Well, neither's my T-shirt that I posted this morning, but hey, I'm the machine that turns hot dogs into hot logs. So that's
that's a beautiful shirt. Who'd you say gave that to you?
Oh, that was Yoko's son.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And so,
But
wow.
Zach, so here's the question of the day that we ask all of our guests. What is the most weird, perverted thing you've run across in the business?
I actually commented this in the group. So there was this one account that I had. It was for an initial service, actually. I show up. It's a dude probably in like his 50s or so, long hair. He's you can tell he's a little with it. And then I go to meet the owner, the guy whose name's on the account. He's an older gentleman. He's his partner. And I'm there to treat for roaches. And I start in the kitchen, and then I make my way throughout the house towards like the bedroom. And right there between their closet and the master bath is an actual like silver dining cart, like what you'd see them bring to like an old timey silver cart that they'd use.
So it has like dessert and stuff on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has dildos and butt plugs all on this thing.
It's an ass surgery tray.
Oh man. Will there be anything else for you, sir? Yes, you can go ahead and bring out the dildo tray. Immediately, sir.
Did it look like it was pre or post use?
Oh God.
Well, I couldn't tell. I tried not to look at it for too long.
I'd be taking pictures. I'd be like, taking pictures of it. And like, oh, there's poop on that one.
Oh shit, yeah. Oh, this would be great for the depot. Click.
Oh man, that's awesome. So, did they allude to? Were they, did they see it and go, "Oh my God," or they just act like nothing happened?
They just acted like nothing happened. In fact, there was a follow-up a few months later where my supervisor at the time went out there to do the follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember if he said it was the older gentleman or the younger one, but one of them came to the door in nothing but a banana hammock that barely fit.
He had a nut hanging.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He was showing Brie.
Oh, lovely. I think we've all had a customer like that at one point in time. At least
Oh yeah.
makes for good podcasting.
Yeah. So Zach, what are you drinking tonight?
Rattlesnake Rosies. It's an apple pie whiskey.
Ooh. Sounds good. And Jack, what are you washing your Chinese down with?
My bottle of water is sitting behind me on the table, and I forgot to get it before recording time. So,
oh, okay. So the National American Bottled Water Association plug has been met. All right. Tonight I am drinking Chestnut Farms bourbon whiskey. This is from the Barton family, 1792 Master Distillers. We are currently at 90 proof. And I don't know.
Bottle.
It's a lovely bottle. I really like it. And, fortunately that the actual name, this part of it here, the label is actually a label. So it can be taken off, and that just leaves you with the picture of the horse and everything. And, there's the horse's ass. So you can see the resemblance.
Oh yeah.
And, so, my wife is always, I think my wife lets me drink bourbon to excess because I provide her with a steady stream of really cool ass bottles. And, the Chestnut Farms is no exception. But what it's what's inside the bottle that matters. And, the contents are really good. Not a whole lot of bite to it. It's got a really good, it's got a very balanced flavor. if you're into tasting the wood, the oak in the rick house, if you're into tasting, the wheat and the barley and all the other things that make up the mash bill on it, Chestnut Farms is going to be the bourbon for you. Because got it all. It's got it all. For everybody. And, if there's anything that you like about bourbon, you're going to find it in the Chestnut Farms bourbon. So, it's definitely, I have no idea how much it costs because it was a gift to me from Christmas. Thank you, Kelly, my sister-in-law. And, it's a great bourbon. I recommend it. I would give it 3.5 out of 5 belches.
Very nice. Very nice. And you never look a gift horse in the mouth. So yeah.
And as always, I am chasing that dude down with my sweet tea, courtesy of my Tony Spangler tumbler. Jack, Tony and his lovely wife Leanne have made some different changes to how they're doing this.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've come up with a new name to kind of combine the two things. SpanglerArt.com.
Yes, Spangler Art.
Yes, Spangler Art. Look for it. There's now more than one way to get a hold of Tony to get one of his fantastic tumblers. If you can imagine it, Tony can put it on a tumbler. At SpanglerArt.com, they have several different things that they can do. They've got the 22 ounce tumbler. They also have smaller tumblers, kind of like the oval type shape that kind of look like, more or less shaped like the stemless wine glasses, coffee mugs,
yep. Mm-hmm.
You name it. Just check it out at SpanglerArt.com. They are going to be the go-to for tactical drinkware, as it were. And last thing I want to say about Tony Spangler Art and his tumblers is, fuck the Stanley thing, man.
Oh yeah, fuck that. Yeah, everybody's running to Target for their bright red Stanley Cup. Fuck that. Yeah, first of all, I'm not going into Target. That's not going to happen.
It's like drinking out of a Tickle Me Elmo's asshole.
Right. Some people are into that. I'm sure there's a porn for that, but I don't watch it. And I'd rather. I will be rocking my Joker tumbler.
You know what? That Joker tumbler is a thing of our beauty. As a
my God, it is
art.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it out loud. I'm not a big Joker fan. I get you though, Jack. I understand. I understand all that. But if I could get a tumbler with Candice Renee's painting of the Joker and on a tumbler, I think my life would be almost complete.
For sure.
Yeah. And Zach, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll send you the image. It is an incredible. You know who Candice Renee is. I'm sure you've been on the depot for a while. She's one of the mod squad. She is an incredible artist and, she's got a lot of really cool paintings out there. And, so I'll make sure that you see what I'm talking about. But yeah, but again, if you can imagine it, Spangler Art can do it for you. So, check them out.
Yeah, they also got a Facebook page too for Spangler Art. And when I get my Joker tumbler, I'm going to sully myself by walking into a Target where all their Stanley tumblers are. And I'm going to hold my Joker tumbler out and be like, fuck that Stanley bullshit. And, just to make a point and tag Tony in it and everything. So, quality stuff. I love the coffee mug I got, and I'll have now 3 or 4 tumblers from him now. So worth it.
Yeah, be sure you got Jack, be sure you got your camera phone going there because I'm really looking forward to seeing you being ejected from a Target store.
I don't go peacefully into the night. I'll promise you that.
Hell no, you rage into the light.
That's right.
Yeah, boy. That's why we're friends.
All right, Zach, if you could have something on a tumbler, what would you want on a custom tumbler? What kind of design would suit you best?
I'd probably go for something Star Trek themed.
Oh, good deal. Got a Trekkie. Good deal. So what's your favorite?
Star Trek, there are so many fucking subgenres to Star Trek. Are you talking?
True.
Are you talking the 1960s Star Trek? Are you talking Star Trek The Next Generation? Are you talking about the Deep Space Nine? Are you talking about the, Tartar Control Star Trek or,
Voyager, Enterprise, Discovery? Which one?
I grew up on the classic Kirk and then Picard. That would be the original two.
Kirk, James Tiberius Kirk is the fucking man. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, even the movies were cool. Except for the whale one. That was kind of way off the reservation. But, there was a bright point to that movie is when Scotty, when they finally beamed the whales up and he goes, Captain, every whale is here. I fucking died a small death when that happened. But yeah. I think, as a matter of fact, I don't know if it's Star Wars or Star Trek that I saw one of Tony's, pieces of work. Yeah, it was Star Wars. He's got a Darth Vader, tumbler that was just blew me away.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to see, I haven't seen that. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. But, well, I'm sure if you, Jack, I'm sure if you go on SpanglerArt.com, you'll be able to see that.
That's right. Go to SpanglerArt.com.
SpanglerArt.com. A division of Fucko Industries.
For all your tumbler needs. And metal penis urethral sounding rod needs.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, this thing right here, man, this is like, it's solid.
Slap it right in your pee hole.
That's right. Yes. And it also comes with a handy brush if you need to clean it out before you actually use it to drink a beverage after you're doing.
The brush isn't.
After you defile yourself with it.
The brush isn't for the urethra too, because that's what I've been using it for.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
No. A thinly julienne celery stalk will do the exact same thing. Okay.
Just want to make sure. No, Zach,
you need a pen and take notes.
Now, Zach, do you see yourself staying with a big box company, or, do you like the trajectory your career is on with a big box company, or are you thinking maybe down the road you might go with a smaller or regional type company?
Or even opening your own place like we all wish Billy Ivy would do.
Yeah, when's he going to do that?
I don't know, man, but you know what? I think he's ready.
I would think so. He's been ready. He really has.
Yeah.
Well, back to you, Zach. Do you think you'd stick with a big box, or are you happy with it, with the way things are going at big box?
Now, don't feel obligated to answer this because I know you do work for a big box.
No, I know.
Well, I am pretty happy with where I'm at right now.
Good. Good.
I might revisit that kind of thing later on down the line, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. As far as running my own thing, I don't think I could handle that kind of responsibility.
I am a man that knows his limitations.
I feel like I'm talking to a younger version of myself.
Yeah. It takes a big man to say, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
I know I wouldn't have the patience for it personally.
But bottom line is there's not a damn thing wrong with that.
No, fuck no.
Absolutely not. You got, Zach, I don't want to delve too personally, but are you married? Do you have kids? Family? Are you divorced? Okay. You got a family though?
No kids.
No kids? Okay. But yeah, if it's something down the line, it's like, in my situation, you want to do what's necessary to make sure the kids are taken care of. If that's working for another person or company, big box, mom and pop, whatever the hell, to make sure that, your kids are provided for with, not only the income, but the insurance and all that other stuff that comes with working for somebody else, then there's not a damn thing wrong with that, because that's the important thing. It's not, the job's not the important thing. The family, the kids and everything are.
Oh yeah.
No.
But I tell you, when I was working for Big Green Tea, I'd let the job severely impact my quality of life with family. I was doing so many hours, 6 days a week. Like I said on the previous show, I'd go to work, JT'd be asleep. I'd come home, he'd be asleep. I mean, he was just a little baby at the time, and I never got to have any time with him except for Sunday, and I was wiped out on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I tried to mix the two. It's like, when I had to come home, when I worked at Big Green Tea, I mean, I was working there at a time where, I had to come home and I had to make calls. I had to call all my customers to make sure, to confirm to confirm their schedules, make sure they were home and all this other good shit because, God forbid they fucking do that during the day at the office.
Oh, yeah.
And, I would have my kid on my lap or, playing out the background and everything, but that never worked out because something always went sideways with the kid. And, you have to, they'd either start having a tantrum over something trivial or they'd shit themselves or whatever. And, it just didn't work. And then, a lot of the companies are talking about this work-life balance. But it never really works out in life.
No. No, but you
got to find that balance yourself, man.
Right. Yep. You got to find that rhythm that works for you, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
For sure.
And if it means looking for something else, looking for a different company that's maybe more sympathetic to that, then so be it.
For damn sure. Speaking of family, I want to mention this real quick. I didn't mention it on last week's show. Bobby Hamill with J.C. Ehrlich Pest Control, before they were purchased by the bigger company out of the UK, Bobby and his brother Vic Hamill were co-owners of Ehrlich Pest Control. Just last week, Bobby Hamill passed away, and I will say this. He was a fantastic guy. I got to know him pretty relatively well. Not real well. It's not like he'd invite me home to his house for dinner or nothing, but he was a good man, and I want to show him the respect he deserves with his passing. So rest in peace, Mr. Bobby Hamill.
Godspeed, Bobby. And those are the ones. It was that generation that really made the industry what it is. At least what it was. And, then it was taken over by a lot of, dollar oriented people. And, that's really all that mattered. So, those are the good guys. I mean, there are people that, back then, that's what it was. And, it's a big loss.
Just like Stoy Hedges was earlier in 2023. Yep.
Yeah. Everything I know about problem solving and, looking for the small details and everything I learned from Stoy Hedges.
Yeah, that guy was a wealth of information.
I was one of the few people that were actually blessed to work, relatively close with him at a period of time in my career. He taught me lessons I'll never forget. And, he is sorely missed in the industry.
Damn sure. Now, do you have any, you can suck it stories you'd like to come out with, Zach? Anything that, a story of someone that just deserves to have a foot put in their ass?
None that I can think of right now.
I think you got one though, don't you, Brad?
Oh, me?
Yeah, didn't you say you had one?
Why, as a matter of fact, Jack, I do.
And now, it's time for the You Can Suck It story of the day.
Oh, really? Don't you?
Oh, yes, I do. And here we go. Okay. All right. Ever since I've been working for William the Merciful at Trio Pest Control, the one company that I will mention by name because they are so fucking awesome, I have been introduced into the wonderful world of pre-construction termite treatment. Now,
oh boy.
Anybody that knows about pre-construction termite treatment, and Zach is over here, we got cameras on and I can see Zach just kind of, oh shit, here we go. But knows that they take an enormous amount of chemical. Now that said, this enormous amount of chemical always exceeds the amount of chemical that you can hold in your particular vehicle. So you have to do one or two things. You either have to source a water supply on site, which is never going to freaking happen, or you're going to either own a larger water tank, say a 500 gallon outfit or what have you, or you're going to have to rent one. In our particular case at Trio Pest Control, being the small company that we are, three people, the trio, and we have to rent them. And one of the companies that William the Merciful typically rents these things from is Sunbelt Rentals.
Oh boy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm beginning to learn a lot about Sunbelt Rentals. The first time that I went out on a pre-treat on my own, William the Merciful takes and brings the tank out and he drops it off. I start firing it up and I'm trying to figure out how to get this water going. I finally figured it out, but unfortunately I got it up to the manifold and lo and behold, there's 3 manifold caps. Oh, I'm sorry. There's supposed to be 3 manifold caps. There's only 2. One of them shoots the hell out. I'm losing tons of water. I shut that fucker down. I'm like, something's wrong here. I'm a novice. I don't know much about these tanks. I look and I was like, I'll be goddamn, one of these caps on the manifold is gone. There's three like 2-inch ports for the manifold. And then at the end of it is the little hose bib that I would use to fill up my termite tank.
Right.
Had I had a 2-inch hose, this would be A, no problem, and B, I'd have my fucking 100 gallons filled up in probably about 3 minutes, which would have really been great, but I didn't have that hose. They're not included in the room. So I had to sit there for over 2.5 hours waiting for somebody from Sunbelt to come and put a manifold cap on that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, okay.
Oh, just you duct tape.
The next time we rented one, William the Merciful picks it up. He takes that. He goes, shit, there's no top cap to the tank. We lose about 40 some odd gallons, maybe 50 gallons on the way to the job site just by him driving it there. I'm driving behind him and I'm like, oh, this is great. I don't have to wash my truck this week because all that fucking water is flopping out at me. Okay. I got my wipers on and everything. And he's hitting railroad tracks and it's fucking flying everywhere. And, so I'm like, okay, well shit. Fortunately, when we arrived at the site, we had enough water to get the job done. Barely. Okay. Let's flash forward to this Wednesday. I'm on a pre-treat with my good buddy Richard. And by the way, Richard, thank you once again for the bottle of Woodford Reserve. I cannot wait to crack into it. We get there. It's 33 degrees. You know, we're having our 33 degree weather issues, you know, frozen termite pumps, no problem. Slap a heater on it, 5 minutes, it's pulling. And, oh, wait, our hose is frozen. Yeah, another 10 minutes on that. We're good. And then, you know, it finally comes up to the water tank. We get on there. Oh, it's frozen solid. They didn't winterize it. So I throw a tarp on it, start the motor, let the exhaust thaw everything out. Okay. This is William the Merciful's idea. And it worked because the pump did go. Once we finally engaged the big switch to the manifold, all 3 manifold seals that come up from the pump to the manifolds had cracked because those bastards at Sunbelt Rentals did not winterize that son of a bitch.
Jesus Christ.
I had water shooting anyway. Okay, remember, 32, 33 degrees. I got soaked because this water was blasting everywhere. William the Merciful got soaked. And if there's one thing you never do is soak William the Merciful. And I'll tell you what, man, we were all totally pissed off. Fortunately, the construction company that was on site to get everything ready for the slab to be poured the following day had a water tank truck that they delivered, that they drove to the place with the amount of water that we needed to get the job done. Now, granted, it costs money to do that, but we got the job done.
Right.
So, this is more than a you can suck it to Sunbelt Rentals. Sunbelt Rentals, fuck you.
Oh,
we've escalated from you can suck it to straight up to fuck you.
Yeah, well, Sunbelt Rentals, I hope when you get soaked having to run that thing and find out where all the leaks are, I hope you sit down on a metal bench and your balls freeze to the bench. So go fuck yourself, Sunbelt Reynolds.
There you go.
What you got for us, Zach? You got an insult for him? We always pass it around the table.
Yeah.
I hope every time you enter a room, you stub your toe.
Damn.
It's just little mild inconveniences that can make life suck really bad. Oh, the pinky one. Oh, yeah. I have a story about that. I broke my pinky toe coming out of the bathroom in my apartment a long time ago, and I looked down and my pinky toe is pointing to the left. Ooh. It just broke. It decided to not point forward with all the other toes. It took a left. I looked down and you get almost vomiting because you try to push it back and it kind of makes this wet popping noise and pops back out. Yeah, so that's pinky toes. What the fuck?
I had nicknamed my wife the Big Toe because I banged her on every piece of furniture in the house.
I'm waiting for a wooden spoon to come flying out of the side of the screen and pop you in the head.
That's why I go into the room in the back of the house and close the door before we record this. Shit. You know what? I've got nothing this week for an insult because I am so deeply insulted by their lack of professionalism and service. I have nothing to say but fuck you, Sunbelt Rentals.
Yeah, the guy at Sunbelt Rental who didn't winterize the pumps, winterize the rig, I hope a large gorilla decides to use you as a sounding rod.
Ooh, yeah. Jack, I knew you'd have my back.
just cram it up in his penis. Just cram it in his penis.
Cram it right up in his penis. I want to share a real quick story before we leave out of here. I had a Lion King moment today, you guys. You'll understand what I say about a Lion King moment after you hear the story. I went to a house. I looked at my work order and it basically said that this customer has fruit flies and they don't know where they're coming from. And the previous pest control company they had before couldn't figure it out either. So I get there. Very, very nice people. I checked their kitchen out because that's where they're seeing most of them. Yeah, I see Replettas, dark-eyed fruit flies all over the fucking place. And, I'm looking all over that damn place and I'll be shit if I can find what's going on there. And I'm treating their kitchen like a DEA agent. I'm going through every fucking box in their cabinet. I'm looking for raisins and dates and shit like that they might have spoiled and everything. I get done with it, and the only thing I really find is a little bit of stickiness underneath the refrigerator. No big deal. It's the stickiness, in my opinion, was a little too dry to be able to support fruit fly harborage. So, I went up to him. I said, there's two things that I don't see in your kitchen that I see in pretty much every other kitchen. They said, what's that? I said, your potatoes and your onions. They said, oh, we put those out in the garage. And because the other guy said that they were coming from there, I said, okay. I said, before I go out of the garage, I want to check the basement out because I went into the basement and got nothing. I go back up. I said, all right, let's get to this garage. So I get out there. I'm looking at the potatoes and onions and I'm seeing what I see in the bottom of the basket of potatoes and onions was the exoskeletons, if you will, of mealworm larvae. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I'd never seen mealworm larvae in a bin of potatoes and onions. They said, she goes, oh, I buy those and feed those to the birds. They must have fell in there. I was like, okay, so you eat bird feed, you're feeding birds and stuff. And I was like, okay, so she goes, yeah, the bins are over by the garage. So I opened up the bins and they were so fucking rotted and moldy and shit. Now again, this was 20-degree weather. Their garage probably was about 30, 35. I didn't see a whole lot of shit going on in those, but all I did see was that festered ass birdseed and stuff. Now, the reason this is a Lion King moment is because I've been in the business for 32 years, and it was only 2 years ago that I found out that fruit flies can infest birdseed. Now, Indian meal moths, sawtooths, things like that. I got all that,
right.
But that was the one instance that the first time that I'd ever seen, a small fly species infest birdseed was in my own office at the Scarlet Letter, because we kept birdseed around for, to mix with Avitrol and, to take care of bird control. And the person that tipped me off to that, Jack, do you have any idea who that was? Randy Struther. That's right.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I figured this out. So basically what I did for their kitchen was I put some alpine bait out to take care of the adults. That nastiness underneath the refrigerator, I shot some Invade Biofoam under there because I couldn't get the refrigerator out because it was so stuck to the floor. That, again, their kitchen was pretty damn clean. So, but I couldn't, for the life of me, I couldn't get that goddamn refrigerator out of there. So I was like, I'm going to shoot this shit in there. You'll loosen it up. She goes, my son lives close. He's only a couple miles away. I said, well, have him come over here and pull this thing out after this shit loosens up in a couple hours. And, after I got all that done, I felt so good about what I did. I went out it's like I looked up in the sky, and as I was walking back to my truck, and it's like the clouds appeared, and Randy Struthers was like looking down, nodding at me. And it was an emotional moment. And, cause dude, you made a difference while you were here. You taught an old fart some new tricks.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah. And I had no idea about that myself. Really, truly, I had no idea.
I didn't either, but oh shit. If I can find the video, I'll show it to you, because we took a video, because we went back into the chemical room, we opened up that bucket, and I was like, oh fuck, we closed it right back out. We took it out to the front of the office and opened it back up, and we actually made a video of that. It was me, Struther, and Schulte. And if I can find that video, I will put it on the depot. But oh my God, it was the damnedest thing. And I remembered that. And after she said something about birdseed, I was like, oh. And so, yeah, it was, I had a shitty day today. That was the high point of my fucking day.
Awesome. So speaking of shitty days, one thing I want to mention before we sign off is there's a friend who will go nameless on the depot, and a friend of a lot of people, who's going through a rough patch right now. And for anybody on the depot, we're all one big family. If you got something going on, talk to somebody, because sitting and stewing on it sometimes can do more harm than good. So like our old friends on Shit That Goes On in Our Heads say at the end of every show, it's okay to not be okay. Just be sure you're talking to somebody. You're talking to somebody.
Exactly. So hey, Tony, or God damn it.
That's twice.
I'm going to take this somewhere and I'm going to put it down on the floor. Okay.
It's not the first time I've been called a different name.
Okay. Steve, I appreciate you being on here. No, look, Zach Weeks, man, you have been a great guest, and we really appreciate having you on. We'd definitely like to have you on again sometime in the near future, but unfortunately you won't be able to do it by winning a contest. After tonight, you are officially disqualified from winning any other contest to be on the show. So, again, man, I really appreciate your contributions to the depot. You are a meme machine. And, I really appreciate having you, all the contributions you've done, the comments you make, the posts you make. I mean, you are one of 8,500 reasons that the depot is the success that it is. And I cannot thank you enough. And on behalf of, the Cheese Bags and the Mod Squad, thank you for being you.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, Jack, let's talk about next week's show.
We're going to do misconceptions, things that, old wives' tales and shit when it came to pest control, and misconceptions about the job, all kinds of stuff like that. So That's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to that.
Break out your Irish Spring soap bars and get ready for a great show next week. So
that's right. Drop your penny in the Ziploc bag. Drop your penny in your Ziploc bag.
We're going to be talking about all the things that people think are great for pest control on a homeowner level, but ain't worth a fuck. So get ready for that. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be at least as good as the show as this one was. So again, Zach, thanks so much for being here.
Yes, sir.
So, on behalf of our guest, Zach Weeks, our beloved sponsor, Tony Spangler at Spangler Art, Pest Control Humor Depot, my favorite group, Jack and myself, we ask each of you, every one of you, to bug the hell off.
Bug off.
Bug off.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
Thanks for listening to Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. You can find us on just about every single podcast outlet there is online. So be sure to subscribe, and we'll have a new episode next week. Don't forget, you can find us on Instagram at TFTC Podcast, on Twitter at Crawl Space Tales, and you can also find us on Facebook at the Pest Control Humor Depot. See you next week.